The challenge that retirees are having today is many of the traditional financial planning advice and rules and general rules of thumb that people have been using do not work for today's world. Think about it. We're in a digital world. We're in a global economy. Things happen at the speed of light, all right? And it can have an impact on your retirement. One that I want to point out here, I'm going to share with you, is this 4% rule. And the 4% rule is that when you go to retire, you can take 4% of your nest egg each year and, for the next 25, 30 years. Well, that simply doesn't work because people are running out of money, and one, they don't have enough money to do that. And if you're simply just taking out 4%, it may not be enough money. But what happens along the way, if you're taking out 4%, what happens all of a sudden if you see a market dip? Now you're withdrawing that 4%. You also realize a significant drop in the market, and you're not going to be able to sustain the income level that you expect or that you need. So I'm going to share with you in this article. All right, so take a look at this article right here. This is Kiplinger. You can go right up here to kiplinger.com and check it out. It's called The 4% Rule Faces New Problems. And this article was written probably about 24 months ago, so it's not too old. But considering today's market and economic conditions, can retirees really rely on the old standby guarantee that they won't run out of money? See, that's what I'm saying. The old standby, the old traditional methods that are outdated. Sorry to say, but the answer is no. All right, so let's scroll further down. There's something every retirement saver should know. The often cited 4% retirement income rule is not actually a rule. Whoa, how about that? Despite what some people think, that this retirement planning concept does not guarantee that as long as you take 4% of your retirement savings each year, your nest egg will be safe. More accurately, this concept is only a rule of thumb. See, that's what I'm talking about. More accurately, this concept is only a rule of thumb that can help you gauge a target drawdown your retirement savings might generate. I sometimes hear it's not like I need to be a millionaire. I just need about $40,000 a year for my savings. The 4% rule says that you need at least $1 million in retirement savings, 4% of 1 million to generate 40,000. Okay? When it comes to planning, and most people are not saving enough, or they don't have the right plan, which is again why you're going through this course, so you can learn how to put together the optimal plan for you and position yourself to retire happy. Let's read on a little further here. The 4% rule essentially hypothesizes that based on U.S. investment returns, a retiree expecting to live 30 years in retirement should be safe. In other words, will have money left over at death. If she withdraws approximately 4% of her retirement capital each year, adjusting the income annually for inflation, this idea further assumes your retirement savings is invested in a 60-40 mix of equities and fixed income products. Okay? Now, the idea isn't to guarantee that this percentage will be sufficient, nor does the concept suggest that you take 4%, you will be bankrupt at death. It tells you there's a high likelihood, based on market performance, that you'll have enough for retirement. Well, I can tell you that just simply doesn't happen. One, because people are not saving. The average 401k balance for a 65-year-old when they get set to retire is just under $200,000. They don't even have $1 million. So you certainly need to save more for money, or save more for your retirement. But the other thing is you need to protect it. One of the reasons that I like annuities in a portfolio is that it allows you to protect that nest egg, but an annuity can do something that a stock, bond, or mutual fund can't do, and that's turn on a guaranteed lifetime income. Okay? Where the 4% rule goes wrong. The 4% rule may be a problem, particularly for people contemplating a retirement in the near future. In the past, the concern has been that a 4% drawdown may be too conservative, and in many market scenarios, the retiree will end up taking far too little as a retirement income. I simply don't see that happen unless you have millions of dollars and your lifestyles and you're living definitely below. I don't see that. Essentially, they may be too stingy with their savings to really enjoy their retirement. And yes, that is still possible. There are some people, but for most people, that is not. Okay. The flip side of the idea, however, is more the present day concern. 4% may be an unrealistic high amount to withdraw. That is it right there. The flip side of this idea, however, is more the present day concern. We're talking about today. We're not talking about 20, 30 years ago. 4% may be unrealistic, a high amount. It is absolutely true. Here's the problem. The concept is based on averages, and retirees can't spend averages. Right now, we have an investment market that is an alarming from two perspectives. Stock prices are sitting at historically high levels, while bonds are paying out historical low incomes. The fear is that if the equities experience a market correction and retirement capital takes a plunge, the plunge will be difficult to recover from. Because your savings is being drawn down each year, you're decumulating your portfolio. And the bond part of your portfolio may not be much of help because rates are too low. So if you're generating 3% coupons on your bonds, how can you withdraw 4% each year and expect bonds to shore up your capital? There you go. See? Rising inflation just makes it worse. As interest rates go up, the value of your current bonds goes down. Another trouble with the 4% rule is that it's based on the U.S. investment experience during the 20th century. As the 21st century sweeps us into globalized investment market, is it realistic to assume markets will continue their inevitable march upward? Will down markets always be short-lived and recovery is always quick? Nobody has a crystal ball. Since no one who retired near the end of the last century has lived the requisite 30 years yet, we don't know how the 4% rule will stand up for them. If they retired at the peak of their tech bubble, even with positive returns of the last decade, they may be dealing with significantly reduced retirement portfolios, and a lost decade going forward could exhaust what little of their savings left. Okay? Here's a smarter way to use the 4% rule. Does this mean you abandon the 4% rule? No, as long as you understand that it's just like what I say, a rule of thumb, right? Just like he's saying here, a litmus, a test, a gauge, a starting point. That's it. And you should further figure the rule is likely not as conservative measure as it used to be. We may not see the rosy conditions that drove the U.S. stock market in the second half of the 20th century. A way to utilize the rule is to add up your expected savings at retirement and see if 4% of that number will generate you the target retirement income. If not, it's time to go back to the drawing board and figure out how to boost your retirement savings. Well, I can tell you right now that if you're at that point and you're retiring, going back to the drawing board, yes. Rethink it, yes. But here's the problem. You don't have time. You don't have time. See, this is why planning is so important right now. You need time. That is your single biggest asset. You need to figure and estimate what you're going to have in retirement. Go back to the drawing board today, right now, and figure out what is going to be part of your plan. All right? It's too late. All right? So, if 4% does give you an adequate retirement income, roll up your sleeves and start looking at your particular plan and ask yourself these questions. Will you be like many retirees and spend bigger during your go-go years in early retirement and less during your no-go years later on? Do you have the stomach for a portfolio that emphasizes stocks over fixed income? That's a great question. I can tell you, it's not just the stomach. It's not just the stomach. It's about making wise decisions. I don't care for this. It's not about do you have the stomach for it. No. This is about creating a wise plan that's going to generate you income. And I think that's how you make a decision. When you say, do you have the stomach for it? What you're telling somebody is to make an emotional decision. And when it comes to money, we typically make emotional decisions. So I don't agree with this here. And importantly, Are there ways you can turn some of your retirement capital into guaranteed retirement income, taking the pressure off the annual drawdown from your portfolio? Annuities, bond ladders, and even government inflation bonds are all possibilities. All right. As you can see, the 4% rule can get things started, but it's not the end solution. So this is a great article. It really is. Great article. The author did a great job. Steve Parrish, good job. I like this article because it proves the point that you need to take 100% control of your retirement so you can position yourself to retire happy, and use the general rule of thumbs as just general rule of thumbs to get you into the ballpark. But on your journey of retirement, you need to continue to dial in your retirement. More importantly, are you saving enough? And then what is your income going to be? How are you going to take your income? That's a big part of your plan, right? So anyways, hope this helps. Have an awesome day. Retire happy. Take care. Okay, in the description below, I'm going to go ahead and put a link to this article here so you can review it again if you wish. And also, before you leave, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. That way you're notified each time we come out with good content like this to help position you to retire happy. Have an awesome day. Oh, one last thing before I leave. If you haven't done so already, make sure to check out our online Retire Happy planning course. All right, have an awesome day. Take care.